Well, I didn't want to make a video about this, but it's in the news, so I might as well just talk about it. Okay, let me get started. There was a assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Someone tried to kill him at this Republican rally somewhere in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump was at the podium speaking to his supporters. All of a sudden, there was a sound of gunshots, and Donald Trump put his hand on one of his ears and fell to the ground, and the Secret Service immediately went to him and covered him to protect him. Then they checked to see if he was okay. They helped Secret Service helped Donald Trump up. There was some trickle of blood on his face, looked like a scratch, a cut, with blood coming on the. There was it was blood on his face when he staggered up, and he raised his fist up in defiance, showing everybody that he was okay. And the Secret Service immediately took him to a vehicle and whisked him away. I heard that from some people. I heard this from DW and France 24 on YouTube. I think some of the news presenters said that Donald Trump was hit in his ear by the bullet, but they said that the bullet flew past his ear. But I think Donald Trump said that. He said it on his Truth Social site account, kind of like X, formerly known as Twitter, and gave his side of the story on this. And I heard that the shooter who was shooting at Donald Trump was neutralized. He was killed by the Secret Service. And there was a big pouring out of politicians from both parties, Republicans and Democrats, and former presidents, saying that they were grateful that Donald Trump was okay, and saying that there was no place for hate in politics. So, looks like in future rallies, security is going to be very, very tight. I think at the Republican National Convention coming up, I found something on DW about what happened to Donald Trump at that rally, that Republican conservative rally somewhere in Pennsylvania. I think it was Butler, Pennsylvania. I don't know where that is. I don't know anything about Pennsylvania. So let me go ahead and read this. Politics. United States of America. Donald Trump tells Americans to stand united after attack. And it reads as follows. The FBI is leading the investigation of the attempted assassination attempt on Trump during a Pennsylvania rally. President Biden, in politics of all stripes, said there was no place for political violence in the U.S. Former U.S. President Donald Trump was whisked off stage by security service agents after gunshots were heard at a rally in Pennsylvania. His team quickly confirmed he was doing fine. Shortly after, Trump said in a post on Truth Social that his ear was graced by a bullet. The FBI was taken over from the U.S. Secret Service to investigate the case. Hours after the attack, Trump thanked supporters for their thoughts and prayers and said it was important to remain defiant in the face of wickedness. Ex-Vice President Pence, no place in America for political violence. Former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence said attacks like the one on Donald Trump must be universally condemned. Referencing on Saturday's assassination attempt on Trump, Pence said there was no place in America for political violence. In an online post, the former Indiana governor said he and his wife, Karen, are praying for Trump's full recovery and for those lost and injured in this horrific attack. Pence was among Trump's most loyal supporters until the events of January the 6th, 2021, when he refused to block the certification of Joe Biden's presidential election victory. The decision caused angry Trump backers. Let me start over again. The decision caused angry Trump backers to attack the U.S. Capitol, some calling for Pence's head. Pence later accused the billionaire of endangering his life and his family's through his inflammatory heroic ahead of the assassination on the Capitol. Trump is expected to announce his choice of vice president for the upcoming presidential election at the Republican convention next week in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was ruled out any prospect of turning again to Pence. Biden calls for unity after Trump attack. U.S. President Joe Biden condemned the assassination attempt against Republican rival Donald Trump, saying the shooting was contrary to everything we stand for as a nation. In brief comments about the attack, Biden said he and Jill Biden was praying for the family of the person killed at the rally and that he was sincerely grateful that Trump is doing well and recovering. Biden said there's no place in America for this kind of violence, or any violence for that matter. The president said he would address the American people on TV on Sunday night on the need for unity. Oh, that's tonight. I'm making this video Sunday evening. I guess I'll just watch that and give you guys more of what's going on. We must unite as a nation to demonstrate who we are, Biden added. Biden said he was ordered a review on what happened at the Trump rally in Pennsylvania. The president has canceled a scheduled visit to Texas due to the attack, the White House announced. Trump has reaped what he sowed, says German lawmaker. The failed assassination attempt on former U.S. President Donald Trump is a case of reaping what you sow, German lawmaker Raunchy Kanzner told DW on Sunday. U.S. society is quite polarized. And Trump is harvesting what he's seeded over the last years. The center-right Christian Democratic Union, CDU, politician said. We asked whether his comment was fair. Kissinger replied, I don't know whether it's fair. It's true, and that's a pity. Trump has been a deeply diverse figure for many years, he added. Kinzinger described a recent event he attended at the Washington-based Hudson Institute that highlighted concerns about how polarized the United States society has become and how some politicians were not taking more challenging positions on policy issues than even Trump. The German lawmaker said it would be difficult after the U.S. presidential election campaign to bring American society together. Political attacks are also on the rise in Germany. Kinzinger was verbally and physically assaulted last month while campaigning for the European Parliament elections in southwestern Germany. He says it hasn't changed how he interacts with voters. If the more immigrating voices are withdrawn, then the radical voices become even louder. He told DW he must be decent and steadfast in defending our freedom of speech and the societal conclusion against these violent people. DW's timeline on assassination in the U.S. Aside from the attacks on Donald Trump, which is making headlines around the world, most people are familiar with the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas in 1963. Kennedy's killing sparked a surprise of conspiracy theories and remains a topic of widespread debate. Several other U.S. leaders have been targeted by attackers in the last 50 years, including Ronald Reagan and Gerald Ford. Two other presidential candidates were also shot, one of them fatally. DW looks back at the history of attacks on top American politics since the Kennedy killing. Trump rally shooters have explosive device. Trump rally shooter had explosive devices in his car, reports. The gunman who shot at Donald Trump at a campaign rally had explosives in his car, U.S. media reported. The HP news agency cited two unarmed law enforcement officials as saying that bomb-making materials were found inside the car belonging to the shooter, Thomas Matthew C. Oh, he's 20 years old. There were also bomb-making materials found at his home, AP reported. U.S. media said the car was parked near the campaign venture in Butler, Pennsylvania. The assassination was shot dead by U.S. Secret Service agents after he opened fire from the roof of a building about 140 meters from the stage where Trump was speaking. An AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle used in the shooting was recovered near his body, which had been purchased by his father, sources told the Wall Street Journal. So the shooter had shot at former President Trump with a AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle. And the gun was purchased by the shooter's father. Uh-oh. Yeah, I know where this is going. Okay, how can I respond to this? Well, I'm just going to say this. Donald Trump, I'm going to say this. He brought this on himself, because all the things that he said in the past, getting his supporters riled up to attack the U.S. Capitol building back on January the 6th of 2021. Yeah, one of those crazy Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol building, destroying everything, going into politicians' offices and going into the U.S. Senate chamber. I mean, yeah, and Donald Trump telling his supporters that the election was stolen and he won and Joe Biden lost. Yeah, Donald Trump. I mean, brought all this violence and hate in some of the people in this country. Meaning that the conservative voters, brain dead, asinine conservative voters. He got them riled up into being violent and crazy. So that assassination attempt on him, on Donald Trump, I mean, Donald Trump sealed his fate on that. But I'm not for violence, and I don't want to get into politics. I want to just get out of that. Well, I'm completely out of politics, I'm gonna say this, if you're doesn't matter if you're a conservative or liberal, violence isn't the answer. I mean, you can disagree with that person, but causing bodily harm to them, try to hurt them or try to kill them, that's wrong right there, and you shouldn't be doing that. And and that German politician saying that the United States is a polarized country. And it is, I mean, the United States is a country where its citizens don't trust the government. You got these people in the U.S. who have this mindset: we must not trust government. Get government out of our lives. Well, if I look at it, the government isn't the problem. It's the people who are running the government. That's the problem. Why hate something that's controlled by someone who's running it into the ground? It doesn't make any sense. This country is all about individualism and self-reliance. Freedom. You can do whatever you want. Full freedom. Well, I'm here to tell you this. I know there's some people from other countries who are watching this video and they don't really care, but I'm speaking to Americans who are viewing this video on this channel who have a brain. It's like this. You got Americans who run their mouth about freedom. They're all about freedom. They talk so much about freedom, but they don't give you any freedom. It's like they care so much about your freedom. No, I got it all backwards. Let me start over again. It's like they care so much about their own freedom, but they don't care about anybody else's freedom. Someone else's freedom can be suppressed and brought down to zero. And these people who care so much about their own freedom don't care about that person who's getting their freedom reduced. So in the United States, it's just basically a free-for-all. Every man for himself. And, you know, and you know, I don't, you know, I don't care for American culture because American culture doesn't make any sense. It's weird. It's lopsided. It's upside down. You know, American culture is just strange to me, and this is coming from an American. I mean, I'm just not like the average American in this country. He, here in the United States, I'm just not like everybody else because you know I think for myself and I speak the truth, and I don't sugarcoat anything, and I don't kiss anybody's asses. You know, if anybody wants to come into the comments and disagree with me, so be it. You know, I'm not going to argue with you, and I'm not. But hear me out. You know, I just don't care about American society and American culture because you know American society is just completely messed up. Yeah, some of the people are kind of screwed up, and Native Americans, you know, and I don't, and I could care less about people from other countries moving here because you know I don't care about those people because you know they're just a bunch of Kool-Aid drinking brainwashed people who think America's great. You know, I'm not going to argue with them because you know I just think they're fucking stupid. You know, fuck the dumbass Russian, the German, the Italian, and the brain dead Brit and the brain dead Kiwi from New Zealand and the Aussie. Fuck those people. Because you know, you know, I don't care what they think. They think it's great. I'm gonna let them think that. But yeah, going back to Donald Trump, you know. I'm glad. You know, I'm just glad he's okay. Even though I don't care for him. But you know, but it's like this. I can't. You know, I can't hate the person. I gotta hate the character. Because to me, you know, Donald Trump, at his rallies and at that debate with with that debate with Joe Biden. Yeah, Donald Trump at those conservative rallies and at those past debates, presidential debates with Joe Biden, you know, that's just a character. And yeah, he's a convicted felon. You know, he's a criminal. And I look at this, you know, and I don't think he should be running for president. He should be behind bars. And on top of that, you know, I'm looking at Joe Biden and Donald Trump. You know, I don't care for both of them, but these two men are just way, way, way too old. They're too old. You know, and I guess that's the only choice voters have here in the U.S. because how the system is set up to allow these two old men to be in the position that they're in. You know, it'd be good that the United States had two young candidates running against each other from both political parties. Because, you know, let's face it, it doesn't matter if these two people are young or old. It doesn't, who's running for president. It doesn't matter. Both parties, two people from two different parties, two different political parties, they just serve the status quo. They're both for the status quo. And and that's, and I come to the conclusion, like I said in the previous video, I'm not going to vote. I'm just going to stop voting because, I'm just wasting my time. I'm just wasting my time, and nothing's not going to happen. Because my life isn't going to change. My life isn't going to get better. It's going to stay the same regardless of who I vote for. So, yeah, if Bernie Sanders was on the Democratic ticket, I'll vote. But he's not, and I'm not going to waste my time voting because I don't like the choices. And, I'm just going to like I said, I'm just going to just stay out of this. Stay out of politics for good. Yeah, because it's just a waste of space. I mean, two choices: a convicted felon, a lunatic, and an old man who can't talk straight to anybody, who's just completely out of it. I mean, the United States, to me, it's just one big circus of lunatics, weirdos, and assholes, and just complete worthless jerk-offs. That's what this country is. I'm just thinking to myself, I feel that I was born in the wrong country. That's right. I feel like I was born in the wrong country. I wish I was born in another country that's way better than the U.S. But, I'm not going to say that other countries are perfect. They have their problems. But they don't have the extreme problems that the United States has. Here's an idea. Okay, I want to get married. I want to meet that special woman, marry her, have children. Start a family with that woman. I feel that I can't do that here in the U.S. because the U.S. is not a safe country. Loose, lax gun laws that lead to so many mass shootings. People just go and just buy guns after every mass shooting. Everybody's armed to the T like Rambo. Everybody like they're in the army. Everybody's armed to the T. Everybody's acting like police officers. Regular, normal, everyday people. Arming themselves to the T with a gun. And this is a dangerous country, and I don't want to raise a family in this country, let alone getting married in this country. I'd rather do it in another country. I'd rather do that in another country than here. I want my children to have a better future. I want them to go to school without worrying about getting shot at. Yeah, I want them to experience universal health care. Them, myself, and my wife. I want to work at a job where, I won't work all the time and be all stressed out. Where I can be in a work environment that's less toxic. Where I can be self-employed, which I don't know how to get into. You know, it's like everybody can get into that. Being an entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur, starting your own business. Well, you know, that's all nice and all, but you know, everybody can't do it. You know, it's just, you know, everybody can't do it. It's not for everybody, you know. I can't do it, so yeah. You got these crazy people who say that, oh, gun control won't make any difference and it won't stop the mass shooter in Arlington, Texas, or Allen, Texas. Gun control is racist towards African Americans, blah, 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 blah. You know, I really don't care about that. I'm going to say this. You know, gun control will make a difference. Gun control is the answer. And it is. You know, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. You know. And I'm not going to get into the debate with a conservative. If you're conservative, you want to get in the debate with me on this, I'm going to block you and I'm going to ignore you. Because I'm done with politics. I don't want to have anything to do with this. So, you know, the assassination attempt by Donald Trump, all the mass shootings, disabled people, and black people being mistreated badly. Okay, I didn't clear the memory off of my smartphone, so okay, where was I before it cut off? Because the memory is full. Yeah, it cut off. Yeah, my smartphone cut off because the memory was full. Okay, where was I? All right, the United States is just a very, very toxic, loop-sided, upside-down, unfriendly, antisocial country. You know, it's not a, you know, it's not a place for fun, sex, romance, playfulness. It's just, everything is just serious. Everybody's serious. Everybody's stiff, lifeless, weird, robotic, uptight, mean-spirited. That's the U.S., you know, and Joe Biden wants to tell every American to unite. Yeah, that's just temporary fixes. You know, after that, everybody's back to hating each other and treating each other like crap and turning someone into a mass shooter, making someone lose it and go off the deep end and snap. Yeah, making someone just snap and losing it and going off the deep end. Yeah, sit it backwards. Yeah, I mean, yeah, going back to, like, you know, raising a family. The United States isn't a great country to raise a family at. Yeah, I mean, there's some people who live in this country who have a good job, they have good families and all, but they have a good job, you know, they have families, you know, they have a nice, decent life. But, you know, there's a saying, it isn't for everybody. You know, if anybody who's from another country who likes the U.S., you know, even though I don't care what they think, you know, if they think it's great, they think it's great. They want to move here, they want to move here. They want to say that the people are nice here. Let them say it, because, you know, I don't agree with them. You know, I'm not gonna go on someone's YouTube channel or someone from Russia who likes the U.S. I'm not gonna sit there and listen and watch their videos because I don't agree with them, and I don't. I mean, if you're from another country, you think America is great. I don't agree with you. And I don't. And I don't want to hear, oh, there's countries out there that are tyrannical dictatorships. And it's tyranny, and if you say something in this country, they'll throw you in jail. I don't want to hear all that. It's like this, every country has rules, laws, and regulations that you have to obey. If you don't obey those rules, you'll be punished. Yeah, if you don't obey these rules, rules in any country, you're going to be punished. In the U.S., it's no different. I mean, the U.S. has rules, laws, and regulations. And how can you associate that with freedom? It doesn't make any sense. You're free to obey the laws and follow the rules and speak as you're spoken. How is that freedom? That's not freedom. It's not. And if you're a deep thinker here in the U.S., you're not going to fit in here. You might as well just get out of here. Because if you're a deep thinker, it's not the place for you. So, Donald Trump is okay, even though he's a crook and a liar and a horrible, horrible human being. Even though he's that, it's good that he's okay, and I wish him a full speedy recovery, so he can go back to his bullshit when he gets better or recover from being almost shot by somebody. So yeah, and so that's all I gotta say in this video. Didn't want to do this at all. Yeah, and another thing, you go to these airports, you got TSA searching you, checking you, see if you have a bomb or anything, and they're checking your luggage if you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the U.S. or abroad. And I went through TSA at JFK, John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York City, in New York State. I went through TSA there. They are ridiculously strict. Super, super, super strict. Yeah, because, that reflects the strict anal laws here in the U.S. Very anal, very strict, very anal. Very, very strict. Like, they'll jump, like the TSA agents at JFK, they jumped all over me because I didn't set my foot on the tube to get x-rayed. I didn't set my foot the right way, and they jumped on me over that. It's like that. It's like that in non TSA airport places. Yeah, like the DMV here in Texas. Like signing your name on a block, they will tell you, don't hold your hand this way, not that way. It's just too strict here. Too anal, too strict. And I just don't like it, and I just don't want to put up with it. So, since I'm not going to vote in the presidential election in 2024 this fall in November, I'm just going to vote another way. I'll just vote with my feet by getting on a plane leaving the U.S. and flying to another country, moving to another country. Yeah, leave the U.S. and move to another country, change my location. That's a vote that will never be wasted. And I will cast my vote on that. So yeah, that's all I gotta say in this video, and I don't want to make another video about political things. Okay, that's it. Goodbye.